Upon feeling a strange presence, Vikia and Dollars looked to one side and saw Afibo standing next to them staring at them intently. Dollars' eyes filled with confusion as she did not know who this guy was. Meanwhile, on the other side, Vikia went on alert and realized that they had been discovered. Several seconds passed and nothing happened. Vikia began to stare intently at Afibo and noticed something strange. While Afibo was staring intensely at Vikia and Dollars, our boy realized that this guy emitted a rather familiar smell. Now that Dantalion had modified Afibo's face to have the same one as a human, Vikia could not discover his true identity for now. Upon seeing that Afibo had stopped, Dantalion, who had his hands behind his back, turned around, closed his eyes and couldn't help but smile since he did not expect to find the Saintess here. He was somewhat disappointed as he did not know she had the bad habit of eavesdropping on others' conversations. The rich man with whom Dantalion was conversing placed his hands over his abdomen and remained silent without interrupting. Upon hearing this, the Saintess's eyes filled with surprise. While on the other side, Vikia, who knew that this bastard was a demon, began to gaze at the ground and started to think in silence. Seeing that she was with Vikia, Dantalion asked if she was having a secret romance with a classmate. Dollars became somewhat nervous, turned around, placed her hands over her abdomen and with a nervous look explained that this was a misunderstanding. Vikia, who was next to her, also turned around and began to observe Dantalion in silence. The eyes of the Saintess filled with concern. This ambiguous situation had made her be discovered eavesdropping. Dantalion approached Vikia, began to look him in the eyes and with a smile realized that judging by the academy uniform, he seemed like someone who had come to volunteer at the orphanage. With a firm gaze, Vikia returned the look to the demon, creating tension in the atmosphere. Dantalion's eyes began to shine. Emitting a demonic aura, an exciting smile appeared on his face. He hadn't noticed because Vikia's face was covered by glasses, but looking closely, he had quite a handsome face. This made Dantalion excited since he liked collecting the faces of his victims. The face of Vikia was at the upper level of his collection. He wanted to have it. Vikia began to stare intently at Dantalion with a serene look and remained silent, holding back his internal hatred towards him. At that moment, the man who was conversing with Dantalion brought his fist close to his mouth, closed his eyes and coughed, indicating that it was time to continue with the conversation. Upon hearing his voice, Dantalion, who had one eye closed, came out of his trance, began to observe the man with the other one, and with a smile apologized for having kept him waiting. The man turned his back on him and began to walk away. Dantalion started to turn around, extended his hand towards them and with a kind smile explained to the Saintess that he was going to leave since today he was busy. Upon hearing this, Afibo turned his back on Vikia and Dollars and began to walk towards them. Vikia and Dollars simply started to observe them and remained silent. Once they had moved away a little, Vikia clenched his fists, and his gaze fixed on Afibo, who had a rather strange and familiar smell. Dollars clenched her teeth tightly due to frustration. She began to look at the ground and thought about corruption. Even after seeing him shamelessly sell indulgences, she couldn't say anything, even after hearing blasphemous words against God. She turned to Vikia, extended her hand to one side, got angry and asked him why he had done this. Vikia turned towards her and remained silent. The reality was that he felt an uncontrollable inner fury. Several seconds passed and he did not respond. Seeing the fury in Vikia's eyes, Dollars was somewhat surprised and speechless. She did not know what was happening. Vikia began to look at the ground and with a sincere expression apologized to her for his behavior, explaining that from now on he would be more careful. After saying this, he turned his back on her and while walking away explained that he had been gone for a long time, so he had to return to the orphanage. While the sunlight was illuminating the area, Dollars began to observe Vikia and remained thinking in silence. Dollars' eyes were filled with surprise and confusion. While Vikia was moving away from her, many questions came to her mind. She did not know why Vikia seemed angry. Quilty Rune Indulgentia had an average stay time in the orphanage of approximately 2 hours per day. His main task was to sell indulgences to nobles and merchants. One day, like any other, a noble came to the orphanage, and after talking with him, he handed over a box. Quilty took the box and began to show a kind smile. Occasionally, he also sent by letter investment reports or sales accounting books of indulgences to the Quo Vadis family. He sent these letters through a white dove. Vikia killed the dove, and after checking the mail, it was confirmed that the recipient was Cardinal Humbert Roon Quovadir, head of the Quo Vadis family. He also noticed that Quilty was always accompanied by someone when he engaged in external activities. The rotation was of 4 people, 3 men and 1 woman. Vikia began to imagine a Phoebo when he wore a mask and when he did not wear it. The mask that one of the guards had found during the explosion of the orphanage had been confirmed by smell to be from the same person who was called a Phoebo. Back to the present, Vikia lowered his head and with a lost look began to stare at the ground. It was expected that the remaining 3 people would be at an advanced graduate level or higher, just like a Phoebo. It was a high risk for our boy to take on 4 advanced graduates along with one of the 10 elite corpses. In conclusion, to eliminate Quilty, first it was necessary to deal with the 4 guards. Sancho, Tudor and Piggy arrived in the area and could not help but be left speechless and confused at the same time upon witnessing what was happening before their eyes. Before them was Vikia, who was washing clothes with a wooden board using water from the river. Next to him there was a large basket with dirty laundry. Seeing this, Tudor, Sancho and Piggy could not help but feel somewhat surprised and asked why he was working so hard. Sancho crossed his arms, closed his eyes and felt embarrassed for trying to earn points by completing hours of volunteering. Tudor clenched his fist and his gaze filled with determination. He couldn't believe that Vikia was doing all this to help the children. He decided to follow his example and work harder to become a true hero. Piggy began to observe Vikia and fell silent. Several seconds later, the 3 raised their fists and decided to follow him. Upon hearing their voices, Vikia, who was washing clothes by hand, turned towards them and was somewhat surprised. Vikia began to clean his cheek with his hand and with a lost look he began to gaze at the ground. He was so lost in his thoughts that he hadn't even noticed that his friends had come. It was difficult to act during the day. He had to wait for night to arrive. For now he decided to concentrate on the day. Today it was a wonderful day and the sky was clear. After a few hours someone threw the run-flat ball into the air. The ball had been thrown by the children of the orphanage who were happily playing run-flat. With a smile one of the children extended his hands to catch the ball while being followed by the others. In the area there was a tree. While all the children were playing, a girl sat next to the tree and began to watch the game in silence. This child was none other than Perry. Several minutes passed and instead of going to play with the children, she stayed watching. At that moment, she turned her head to one side and her eyes filled with surprise. Someone wearing academy boots sat next to her and threw a ball on the ground, which bounced against it and flew away. This person was none other than Vikia. He sat on the tree next to her and while he had one hand resting on his knee, he began to bounce the ball with the other. Perry started to look at Vikia and remained thinking in silence. She did not know what he was trying to do. Vikia kept bouncing the ball and this awakened Perry's curiosity. Her eyes filled with curiosity and her gaze fixed on the ball. Seeing this, Vikia could not help but smile and with a cheerful look remembered that the children of Balak also liked to play with this ball. He picked up the ball and the reality was that it was not a ball, but the madam's egg. It had not shown signs of hatching. And the grip was not bad. Vikia always carried the egg with him just in case. But he had never thought he would use it for something like this. Vikia threw the ball again and curiosity in Perry's eyes increased dramatically. She was stunned to see how well this ball bounced. Her gaze fixed on the ball and her desire to play with it grew stronger. She tried to hold back but was unable. Several seconds later, she picked up the ball and with a pleasant and excited smile, she prepared to bounce it. She began to happily bounce the ball and Vikia, who had his hand over his mouth, started to watch her and couldn't help but smile upon seeing that his plan had worked. Behind them were some stairs on which Sinclair was sitting. while she had one hand resting on her knees. She rested her head on the other hand, closed her eyes and couldn't help but smile since, as expected, Vikia was kind. Upon hearing her voice, Vikia came out of his trance, broke his hand from his mouth and couldn't help but a somewhat surprise. When he turned around, he saw Sinclair. She began to blush and with a happy look, mentioned that he had a somewhat blunt side. Vikia didn't even look at her, turned his head to the side and asked what she wanted. She stood up, put her hands behind her back and started walking towards him, explaining that the reason was obvious. She approached Vikia, closed her eyes and with a pleasant smile revealed that she simply wanted them to be friends. She was a year younger than Vikia and if he didn't mind then she could talk to him formally. Vikia started looking straight ahead and remained thinking in silence. Then he turned his head back and with a calm look gave her the order to do what she wanted. Upon hearing this, a smile appeared on her face causing her to start blushing. While Perry was happily playing with the ball, Sinclair got even closer to Vikia and realized that she could be more informal, calling Vikia brother. Vikia replied that he felt a little uncomfortable being called brother. She decided to think of another way to call him until the next time they met. While they were conversing, Perry continued happily playing with the ball. She threw the ball again. But at that moment, it began to move in the air, leaving little Perry somewhat confused. At that moment, the ball bounced forward and seeing this, Perry's eyes filled with concern and she started to follow the ball. In the grid that was next to the estuary canal, there was a small hole. Unfortunately, the ball went through the hole and fell into the water. Upon hearing the sound of water, Vikia's and Sinclair's attention shifted towards little Perry. Both were somewhat surprised. Both approached the grid where Perry was. Sinclair put her hands on her knees, bent down a bit and explained that the ball had gone to the estuary, so there was nothing they could do about it. Little Perry put her hands close to her mouth and her eyes filled with worry. Upon hearing that they could not retrieve the ball, Perry's eyes filled with tears. She began to look at Vikia hoping that he could do something about it. With a serious look, Vikia asked her not to worry since it was just a ball. With a sad look, Perry began to look down and started to cry. Vikia began to observe her and started to think. With a smile, he began to unbutton his academy uniform. He couldn't help it. He wanted to make little Perry happy. At the same time, someone wearing white boots began to walk through the area. This person was none other than Dollars. She grabbed her elbow with her hand, closed her eyes and sighed as she was still upset about it. Several seconds later, she opened her eyes and with a lost look began to think about Vikia. She started to remember the conversation about the night hound that they had had at the club. She had not had a good impression of him because he was judging someone with prejudice over. His behavior was so bad that he even received negative points to the point where he needed to do volunteer work. But the feelings about him were changing. A few hours ago, at the orphanage she met Tudor, who was carrying a child on his back. He extended his hand to one side and with a smile explained that the kitchen needed more hands. So Vikia had offered to go there first. She went to the kitchen where she found Tudor who was dressed like a cook, while he was holding a ladle in his hand. With a kind smile, he explained that they had been distributing food until just now, and hot water wasn't coming out, so Vikia had gone to check the pipes. He hadn't even been able to eat because he had been busy giving out food. She went to the pipe room where she found Piggy. He had a towel around his neck. Upon seeing the president, Piggy became happy and explained that Vikia had gone to do laundry not long ago. Vikia had been able to fix the pipes recently so now they could boil the laundry. After this, she went to the laundry where she met Bianca. With a calm look she mentioned that Vikia had been hanging the clothes next to her until now. But the children had asked him to play, so he had gone to prepare the gym. Back in the present, Dollars started looking down with an insecure look. Everyone thought that Vikia was a good person. She had thought that her judgment of him was not accurate, but in reality she could not be more wrong. She actually had her own prejudices about him. As the sun was lighting up the area, she left the orphanage and approached some stairs. She put her hand behind her head and remembered that many were aware of the fact that Quilty and she did not have good relations. So if Vikia had been considerate by hiding with her because he had noticed Quilty, then she should apologize. Several seconds later, she saw Vikia, Sinclair and little Perry standing in front of the estuary grate. She began to observe Vikia and her eyes filled with confusion as she did not know what was happening. Vikia started to take off his shirt. Sinclair put her hands over her eyes, but still continued looking and she couldn't help but start blushing. Perry, who was next to her and had her hands over her chest, began to cry as she wanted to get her ball back. Vikia took off the academy uniform and the boots and left them on the ground. After doing this, he gained momentum and made a big jump over the grate and threw himself into the dirty water of the estuary. Upon seeing this, both Sinclair, Dollars and Perry were surprised and opened mouth at the same time. A while later, Vikia pulled out the ball from the estuary, which was covered in dirty water. While he was holding the ball with his hand, he started to observe it and told Perry that he had found it. Now his whole body was also covered in dirty water. He turned his head back, started to look at Perry and with a smile explained that she no longer had to feel bad. Sinclair put her hand over her mouth and her eyes filled with surprise, causing her to start blushing like a tomato. Upon seeing Vikia's body, Dollars couldn't help but start to blush. She was speechless as she couldn't believe that Vikia had jumped into the estuary to find the ball for Perry. Seeing that Vikia had found the ball, Perry was shocked and couldn't help but feel an inner peace. No one had ever done something like this for her before. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.